Mind the platform gap.
Ah, is that Stingray? That's just for me. Oh. Wow, you are also organized. Like you do this often. Like I can see.
Trying to get a nice chunky piece. You know that everything that's coming is for you, right?
Oh, really?
We ordered 4 more dishes, but we're all full already.
Ah.
The sugar cane looks so manicured.
See the carrot is like reddish.
Oh, it's not even carrots.
Yeah, it's not like Chinese reddish is carrot, right?
Oh. And what is this?
This is oyster omelette.
Wow.
This was like our sleeping area, right? And this was the bed, right?
Yeah.
Right? This, I shit you not, this whole thing was the toilet. Come on, picture on your YouTube, you know, like now we're just like...
It's for my holiday movie, okay? It's
Wow,
not
nice.
How much is the room at NBS?
Oh, this thing 500, I think. 500, 600, yeah. Just about...
That's my rent in Brazil.
350 euros. That's your rent in Brazil?
Yes.
Per month? Whoa. Where
In
do you live in? The favelas?
a rent.
Wait. As in, an entire apartment.
Yes.
Wait, you live in Sao Paulo or?
I live in Rio.
It depends.
You come visit?
I will. That's why we travel a lot, right? We travel a lot. So this is where it can happen.
Cannot?
You must say this, can is can.
Ken is Ken.
Yeah, can is can.
Can
but
is can.
You gotta be smart.
But
You know,
Not everywhere.
worse.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. Once every 2 years. Not sound too bad.
So I'll wait for the medication. Then I'll go.
Wait for 2% to die first, then you go
Then
there.
I'll go. Then it's safe.
Hello.
What?
product. On behalf of Asia Indonesia would like to welcome you both on generation flight QZ507 to Menara International Port of Bali. At this time, Menara Perfection, for